Ladies and gentlemen, if Washington, D.C., if the mayor and the attorney general of Washington, D.C. want to level charges at President Trump, they could have done so in a court of law, just like they're doing in New York with Trump's taxes that they needed to try to prove something possibly took place. So they make allegations generally against Trump with a dossier, or they just have to, they have to find his tax returns and then come to a conclusion. They don't start with any hard evidence. It's an allegation, then investigating the baseless claim. Whereas Democrats demand the opposite. If you make a claim without direct evidence, it's completely baseless and you can't investigate. With Trump, you could just have a dossier or a high confidence assessment from Brennan, and that's enough to investigate. Or just a New York Times story and very suspicious prosecutors in New York, and you know what? They need his tax returns, and then they got the tax returns, and they'll probably try to indict Trump on that, just because of political retribution. But they were not able to level charges against Trump for the really horrendous tragedy several months back. Today, President Trump won a tremendous victory, political victory. Senate Republicans and Jan 6 Commission. This is Yahoo. And then CNN. These 11 senators didn't vote on the January 6th Commission. Washington Post. Senator Murkowski delivers pointed criticism of fellow Republicans, including McConnell, who opposed the Jan 6 Commission. Okay, Washington Post. The anti-elite elites who want to thwart a Jan 6 Commission. Okay, the fact that the Washington Post is calling anyone elite means that they're almost certainly not. I'll get to the notion of elites, or the notion, I'll get to all of that in a second. New York Times, Republicans block the creation of a Jan 6 commission. So, HuffPost, the filibuster discourages bipartisanship. The GOP filibuster of Jan 6 Commission just proved it. So if Democrats want to end the filibuster, they're not going to be in control of the House of Representatives in 2022. So that's going to be they're the ones with Harry Reid who made just a simple majority vote of over 50 votes instead of a supermajority for Supreme Court nominees. And that didn't work out well for them. Hit subscribe to this channel, and by the way, hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's a channel that I'm growing. It's my other channel. It's ingeniously named H.A. Goodman's other channel, and let's see if it reached 16,000 subs just yet. We're almost there, but the link is below in the description section. Please, please, please go ahead and subscribe to it. And if you do enjoy my voice, if you want to my new Patreons, thank you so very, very much. And ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. So basically, let me just see here. H.A. Goodman other channel. The link is actually below in the description section. So we're almost at 16,000 subs. It's because of you. Please, please, please hit subscribe to that channel below in the description section. I'm sorry, in the pinned comment. Ladies and gentlemen, they could have simply leveled charges against President Trump if indeed he deliberately and methodically, deliberately, in a premeditated way, compelled people to commit horrendous acts. They could have simply said, President Trump committed this crime. We're going to go after him in a court of law. You cannot, the First Amendment does not protect any individual that compels or, tells people to do really horrendous things. Or if you say you're going to do something, terrible, that the First Amendment does not protect you. Okay. They could have simply gone after him in a court of law. This is a partisan exercise. The investigations of the Clintons were partisan also in nature. The difference is that the Clintons got themselves in a unique form of hot water in almost every scandal that they were in, from owning private servers with top secret intel to being part of a land deal that went under where people lost money. There was something called Travelgate, where Madam Secretary almost certainly committed perjury. You can go through hundreds of millions of dollars into a philanthropic organization and beneficial treatment taking place for the people and the countries and the businesses, from UBS to Boeing to a whole bunch of, Uranium One, to arms deals for different countries, and 30,000 emails that are deleted that almost certainly had to do with the foundation. And then you have emails that actually implicate Bill Clinton. In the campaign emails, there are 500 conflicts of interest, and there's a Bill Clinton Inc. Then you have Hunter's emails that are just out now, where he did have dinner with business associates, and his father, our beloved President Biden, happened to just, lie. As always, of course, the Washington Post doesn't care. They don't use the same standard of logic, of justice, of reason, of civility, or their sensibilities are always geared towards protecting their own political side and going after Republicans with the most passionate and the most energetic manner. In the most energetic and passionate manner. They pretend they care about the rule of law, and then they say, well, Republicans agree with us. But there are Republicans who don't like Trump. They will all be primaried in 2 years. You will have a populist political party that will actually be more liberal on things, or more left-leaning on issues like foreign policy, than the Democratic Party, who has the Lincoln Project people now. The most important issue we face as a country is never-ending military conflict and counterinsurgency quagmires. It's the most pressing dilemma, and it's the greatest problem in the world today. And President Trump addressed that. He gave his voters something. And in addition to record low unemployment, he negotiated a deal to get Americans out of our longest-running military conflict in Afghanistan, and he removed Americans in other locations. That morally superior liberal Democrats do not care. It's not even a concern. It's not even a concern for them. So they care. They view this as, oh my God, look, they don't want to investigate. We know what happened. It was, first of all, that day shouldn't have taken place. There should have been a dialogue. There should have been dialogue, discourse, debate, discussion fostered by President Trump. He should never have been on Twitter ever in the past year before ending his tenure as president, because that ended up being a trap. And it gave Democrats political momentum, and it allowed Democrats to create this monster, this orange monster menace, cyber monster. But I mean, you can only take a bat to a hornet's nest so many times before eventually you can't outrun the hornets, and that's what happened with Trump and social media. The best thing that ever happened to Trump is that he's no longer on Twitter. But they're going after Trump not because of the rule of law. They can't get him in a court of law for what took place. They know he used the word peaceful. They want to just paint and spin everything as 100% Trump's fault. The pandemic, 100% Trump's fault. And then you have Andrew Cuomo, who wrote a book on leadership lessons, who was the worst governor, who in so many ways, the worst, and presided over the epicenter of all of this. Democrats preside over the epicenter of the pandemic and have the highest mortality rates. Go to the New York Times statistics. Have the greatest number of lives lost, and yet they preach and pontificate and lecture the most. They could have gone after him in a court of law. They didn't. That's why it's partisan. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. He won a political victory. Give me your thoughts.